You ever wonder what happens when a rap legend decides to live like royalty but still keeps the vibe smoother than a glass of gin and juice? Welcome to the world of the one and only Snoop Dogg, the man who turned chill into an entire lifestyle brand. Forget private jets and overpriced champagne for a second. Snoop doesn't just live large, he curates comfort. He's the kind of guy who makes smoking a blunt in a silk robe look like a stock market move. And his homes? Oh, they're not just houses. They're temples of cool. Let's kick things off where it all began. Diamond Bar, California. Tucked inside an ultra-exclusive gated community ironically named The Country, because of course it is, stands Snoop's longtime headquarters. This isn't a mansion, it's a chill fortress. Nearly 4,000 square feet of laid-back luxury, surrounded by 3 acres of California sunshine. The driveway alone feels like it should have its own Spotify playlist. Step inside and you're hit with cathedral ceilings, plush couches that look like they've witnessed a few too many freestyle sessions, and sunlight streaming through windows big enough to double as solar panels. This house has been Snoop's base of operations for over 2 decades. Most rappers change homes faster than they change record labels, but not Snoop. This spot is his comfort zone, his HQ, the place where empires were built, bongs were packed, and business ideas were probably cooked up between snacks. But Diamond Bar was just the warm-up act. You didn't really think Snoop was gonna stop there, did you? Nah, man. When the Dogfather upgrades, he does it with elevation, literally. Cut to 2015. Snoop takes one look at the Hollywood Hills and says, "Yeah, that'll do." $2 million later, he's got himself a sleek concrete and glass masterpiece that looks like Tony Stark and Bob Marley co-designed it. Picture this: floor-to-ceiling windows, an open concept layout smoother than one of Snoop's verses, and a pool deck that makes you want to call your ex just to make them jealous. The view of Los Angeles, unreal. It's like standing on the edge of success, watching the city glow beneath your feet. Every inch of the place says modern mogul. Exposed concrete, minimalist art, and just enough greenery to whisper zen while you roll another one. There's even an outdoor fireplace, because apparently Snoop needs a vibe check from the universe before every sunset. But that was just the intermission. Because in 2019, our guy went full boss mode. He leveled up from Hollywood elite to actual dynasty status. I'm talking about a $5 million mansion in Chatsworth, California, 10,000 square feet of pure, I made it. Walk through the front door and you're greeted by a grand staircase so fancy it makes your credit score feel inadequate. 6 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, chandeliers that look like they're auditioning for the Great Gatsby sequel. The breakfast room is hexagonal, because apparently squares are for peasants. And that kitchen? Forget granite counters. This place has a waterfall island that could double as an art piece. Gordon Ramsay would cry tears of joy and probably beg to saute something just to feel included. The master suite upstairs? Think fireplace, balcony, and a soaking tub that could easily fit half of Death Row Records. But here's the thing. For Snoop, these homes aren't just status symbols. They're memories, milestones, monuments to evolution. From Long Beach to lavish estates, every property tells a story of a man who went from church choirs to chart toppers to a cannabis empire with a side of gospel albums. And speaking of stories, you know the Dogfather's mansion game isn't complete without a garage that looks like a museum of hip-hop history. Forget Teslas. Snoop's collection is pure culture on wheels. Front and center, the legendary Snoop DeVille, a lime green Cadillac lowrider that practically hums "Still DRE" when it rolls down the block. It's low, loud, and unapologetically LA. Then there's the '64 Chevy Impala convertible, the kind of car that doesn't drive, it cruises. With red and white interiors and twin antennas, it's not transportation, it's attitude on wheels. And let's not forget the Oldsmobile Cutlass, a vintage beast with a 350 V8 engine that growls like thunder. It's half muscle, half poetry. Snoop doesn't just collect cars, he collects eras. Each one a time capsule from when hip-hop wasn't about bling, it was the bling. Now here's the twist. Behind all the horsepower and the house tours, Snoop's not just flexing wealth, he's flexing heart. This man has given away more turkeys than your local grocery store chain during Thanksgiving. In Inglewood alone, he's personally handed out thousands of meals to families in need. No press, no cameras, just genuine love for the people who raised him. And it doesn't stop at food drives. He's coached youth football, mentored kids in Long Beach, even hosted celebrity rugby games to raise money for cancer research. While most celebs talk philanthropy, Snoop actually shows up, with cleats on. He's partnered with Habitat for Humanity, supported the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and helped fund hospitals that care for children for free. Snoop may rap about living large, but he practices something even bigger: gratitude. And that's what makes him untouchable. Because while most rappers chase the next trend, Snoop created one: longevity. He's not just a rapper anymore. He's a brand, a movement, an energy. He's gone from death row to gospel choirs, from platinum plaques to partnerships with Martha Stewart, yes, that Martha Stewart, and still managed to keep the same mellow tone like he's been high since the 90s. But don't get it twisted. Behind that laid-back flow is a businessman sharper than a diamond-cut chain. He's got stakes in cannabis companies, gaming ventures, NFTs, and tech startups. He even briefly worked as a real estate broker because apparently multitasking is just another hobby for him. And through it all, the man stayed grounded. He's still with his high school sweetheart, still raising his kids, still visiting the same communities that first believed in him. Because that's the real flex: consistency. Anyone can buy a mansion, but keeping your soul intact while owning one? That's a rare skill. So yeah, when you look at Snoop Dogg's life, the mansions, the cars, the fame, you realize it's not just about luxury, it's about legacy. A story that started in Long Beach with a kid named Calvin Broadus and turned into a global empire run by a man who never stopped being himself. And honestly, that's the secret sauce. Snoop's life isn't a checklist of achievements. It's a lifestyle manifesto: chill hard, work harder, stay loyal, and always, always make it look effortless. Because in a world full of people trying too hard, Snoop Dogg remains the smooth reminder that cool can't be copied. So tell me in the comments, if you could live in one of Snoop's mansions for a week, which one's your vibe? The classic Diamond Bar Estate? The modern Hollywood retreat? Or the royal Chatsworth Palace? Drop your pick below, hit that like button if you vibed with this tour, and don't forget to subscribe, because next time, we're taking you inside another icon's empire. And trust me, it's gonna be just as wild. Now sure, the mansions and the chrome-dipped nostalgia garage are impressive enough to make a Monopoly board blush. But Snoop's lifestyle, that's where things get different. Because while some celebrities chase luxury like it's a sport, Snoop treats it like oxygen: casual, natural, effortless, and always smooth. He's the only guy who can be billionaire-adjacent, but still somehow feel like your uncle who shows up at the cookout with flip-flops, a plate, and the life advice you didn't know you needed. And that's exactly why the world loves him. See, Snoop doesn't wake up trying to prove he's rich. He wakes up trying to stay relaxed. His morning routine isn't crush emails, take NFT meetings, schedule Forbes interview. It's more like stretch, smoke, make breakfast, mentor somebody's kid, launch a business, text Martha Stewart, and casually drop a verse if the mood hits. That's peak efficiency, the Snoop Dogg edition. And speaking of businesses, this man built an empire so diverse it looks like it was drafted during a smoke session and then somehow executed perfectly. Cannabis lines, check entertainment companies, locked in, tech investments, yep, esports ownership, of course, cooking shows with Martha Stewart, why not? Apparently that's what happens when felonies and felonies-adjacent powerhouses link up. He even has a cereal brand, yes, cereal. Because nothing says generational wealth like having your own shelf in the breakfast aisle right next to Kellogg's while kids go, "Mom, can we get the Snoop Loops?" And don't forget Snoopadelic Films, his own production company. Meaning when he's tired of starring in commercials, he can just make his own. Power move. Need more? Snoop literally bought death row records. Imagine being kicked out of the club years ago and then coming back later to purchase the entire building. That's not a comeback. That's a plot twist. But here's what separates Snoop from the typical Hollywood success arc. He didn't become richer and turn into a hermit behind gates and legal teams. He became more visible, more accessible, more cultural. He's everywhere. On sports broadcasts, in video games, on TikTok, narrating nature documentaries like a stoned Morgan Freeman, and commentating Olympic events like he's watching a backyard pool race. Snoop doesn't adapt to culture. Culture adapts to Snoop. And we haven't even touched his network yet. Because trust, it's not a contact list, it's a constellation. Dr. Dre, Pharrell, Wiz Khalifa, Kobe, 50 Cent, Ice Cube, Shaq, Mike Epps, Kevin Hart, the entire NFL, Diplo, Katy Perry, BTS, and yes, Mark Zuckerberg. Because why not build a tech empire while sipping tea on Instagram Live with billionaires? But for all the star-studded collaborations, Snoop's most important VIP circle remains the same: his family. Married to his high school sweetheart, kids by his side, grandchildren in his arms. Real royalty isn't the homes, it's the roots. While others flex mansions as proof of success, Snoop's biggest flex is that he built his kingdom without losing the kingdom at home, and wants you to feel like you're part of it. That's why his social media isn't "look at me," it's "sit down and vibe with me." One minute he's smoking with Wiz on a rooftop, the next he's posting a meme like a regular uncle discovering the internet for the first time. Meanwhile, his net worth is quietly stacking up like he's collecting infinity stones. See, a lot of celebrities show you luxury. Snoop shows you lifestyle. The difference? Luxury fades, lifestyle lasts. Which raises the question, what's the secret? Why does Snoop feel permanent when so many stars fade like expired soda? It's simple. Snoop doesn't perform rich. He lives rich, comfortable, confident, calm. The man made weed legal by just existing long enough. Think about that. Some enforcers spent decades trying to stop people from rolling up, and Snoop outlived the laws. You can't ban the culture if the culture is a person. So the next time you see that Diamond Bar estate, or the Hollywood Hills Bachelor Dream House, or that 10,000 square foot palace sitting in Chatsworth like a hip-hop Versailles, remember, they're not trophies. They're bookmarks in a life story that's still unfolding. And here's where it gets fun. We're barely halfway through it. Snoop isn't slowing down, he's scaling up. From virtual concerts in the metaverse to brand ownership in cannabis. From kids' football leagues to producing TV shows. From collaborations with rap gods to standing next to Martha learning how to fold napkins like it's a survival skill. The man is playing chess while everyone else is still playing hungry, hungry hippos. And the crazy thing? He hasn't changed who he is. The world changed around him. He stayed Snoop. The same voice, the same swagger, the same walk, the same mischievous giggle that sounds like he just remembered something he shouldn't say on camera. That's why he wins. Now, don't go anywhere, because coming up next, we're diving even deeper into how Snoop maintains this lifestyle, the investments that padded his empire, the wildest luxuries he indulges in, and the one part of his life more valuable than every mansion combined. So now you're probably thinking, all right, I get it. Mansions, money, Martha. But what does a day in Snoop Dogg's billionaire in everything but title life actually look like? Glad you asked, because Snoop's daily routine is basically the world's most chill productivity manual. He wakes up early. Not 5 a.m. grind set early, but that I own my schedule early. The first thing he does? Gratitude. No joke. The dog father literally starts his day thanking the Most High. Then it's on to breakfast. Eggs, toast, and a cloud of inspiration, if you know what I mean. After that, it's straight into empire maintenance. Calls about cannabis partnerships, meetings for new music collabs, and check-ins on his esports investments. It's like a business marathon, except the man's running it in slippers with jazz playing in the background. But here's the secret sauce. Snoop doesn't separate work and life, he blends them. Everything he does feeds into something else. Cooking show? That's a lifestyle brand play. Football coaching? That's community investment. Weed empire? That's culture monetization. It's like he's playing 4D chess while sipping herbal tea. Now let's talk about the toys, the luxuries money can buy, but Snoop somehow makes look affordable. We've already covered his car collection, but did you know he also owns one of the most extensive sneaker closets in the game? Thousands of pairs, from rare Jordans to custom death row kicks. Each one tells a story, performances, anniversaries, collabs. There's even a section dedicated to shoes gifted by fans. And speaking of collections, jewelry. Snoop's chain game isn't rapper loud, it's royalty subtle. Diamonds that don't scream, they hum. Pieces worth 6 figures casually layered like accessories from Target. His crown jewel? The Death Row Records chain, not just a flex, but a full-circle symbol of ownership. Oh, and let's not forget his wardrobe. The man rocks tracksuits like a king wears armor. Velvet, silk, custom embroidery, all color-coordinated with his sneakers. Nobody else could wear a purple tracksuit with gold loafers and somehow look like both a boss and a bedtime story narrator. But Snoop's biggest flex, his time. He's mastered the art of chilling productively. Whether he's meditating, smoking, or mentoring, he's making money doing it. He's turned relaxation into ROI. And when the day's done, that's when Snoop the philosopher comes out. Family dinner, quiet nights by the pool, maybe a little songwriting, maybe a phone call to check in on a friend. The man's life is a masterclass in balance. Hustle with peace, power with presence. See, that's what most people don't get. You can have all the luxury in the world, but if your life isn't peaceful, it's just noise. Snoop figured out how to make silence profitable. And his business portfolio? Forget diverse. This man's holding more industries than LinkedIn. Cannabis, real estate, digital content, NFTs, esports, tech startups, fashion lines, alcohol brands, even pet accessories. Yes, he literally has a line of dog products. Because of course the dog father has dog merch. You name it. He's probably either invested in it or quietly owns a piece of it. And the crazy part? He does it with no drama, no headlines, no shouting. Just steady growth, decade after decade. While everyone else was trying to trend, Snoop was trying to last. And now, that longevity's paying off. Generational wealth mode activated. He's not just stacking for himself. He's building an ecosystem where his kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids can thrive off the empire he built with rhythm and hustle. Every mansion he buys, family asset, every business deal, legacy move, every public appearance, brand equity, this isn't living rich, it's designing a dynasty. Snoop once said, "You can't win no championship without a good team." And that's exactly how he lives. He's surrounded himself with people who amplify his vision, from his wife, Shantae, his lifelong partner and manager, to his kids, who are now running creative and business ventures of their own. The Broaddus family isn't just wealthy, they're wealth-aware. That's the difference. It's not about generational money, it's about generational mindset. Now here's the twist. Snoop could retire today, vanish into luxury, and no one would blame him. But he won't, because this isn't a career to him. The man genuinely loves what he does, the music, the movement, the mentorship. He's not performing success, he's living legacy. And you can feel it. Every smile, every verse, every random cameo in a commercial or a TikTok dance. It's authentic. That's why people never get tired of Snoop, because he doesn't try to be relevant. He is relevance. So next time you scroll past another rapper flexing chains, cars, and rented villas, remember this. There's flexing, and then there's Snoop Dogg. One is loud, the other lasts forever. Because when the smoke clears and the cameras fade, Snoop doesn't just own property, he owns peace. And that might be the richest lifestyle of them all. Now tell me, if you could take one lesson from Snoop's playbook, what would it be? The empire building? The calm confidence? Or maybe just learning how to chill while stacking millions? Drop it in the comments. Hit that like if you vibed with the journey and subscribe, because next time we're diving into another icon's untold empire. So after all the mansions, the cars, the brands, and the billion-dollar energy, here's the truth. Snoop Dogg's lifestyle isn't just about money. It's about mastery. He mastered his craft. He mastered his image. But more importantly, he mastered himself. Most people spend their whole lives chasing status. Snoop created presence. The man doesn't enter a room. He shifts the air. You know he's there before he says a word. That's not celebrity. That's aura. And that aura didn't come from luck or labels. It came from longevity. Decades of staying relevant in an industry that eats its legends alive. Think about it. How many artists from the early 90s are still headlining festivals, closing brand deals, and dropping hit features 3 decades later? Exactly. Snoop built an empire that moves like him. Slow, smooth, steady, always expanding. He turned what everyone thought was a phase into a permanent pillar of culture. And he did it without ever switching up his identity. See, Snoop Dogg doesn't chase the moment. He becomes it. When hip-hop evolved, he evolved with it. When the internet took over, he became its meme king. When cannabis went corporate, he became the CEO of cool. When music went digital, he bought the masters. Every time the game changed, Snoop just smiled, adjusted his shades, and lit another one. But here's the secret no one talks about. Behind all that smoothness is strategy. He's not coasting, he's calculating. Every collaboration, every brand deal, every appearance has purpose. Even his laid-back image is a power move. It makes him universal, non-threatening, marketable, magnetic. The ultimate blend of street and sophistication. That's why Snoop can perform with Eminem one week, do a family-friendly cooking show the next, then narrate a National Geographic episode about penguins, and it all makes sense. He's cracked the ultimate code, being 100% himself while still fitting in everywhere. That's why he'll forever be bigger than the music. He's culture incarnate, a living, breathing time capsule of hip-hop, hustle, and heart. And let's be honest, part of his genius is how he made aging look good. Most rappers fear getting older. Snoop turned it into an advantage. He leaned into his OG status and became the ultimate mentor. Now he's the guy younger artists look up to, not just for his flow, but for his blueprint. He showed them you don't have to burn out. You can evolve, pivot, expand, and still keep your cool. From Calvin Broadus in Long Beach to Snoop Dogg, the global icon, he's proof that success isn't about where you start. It's about how you grow. And look, not everyone can own 3 mansions, a car collection that looks like a museum, and a cannabis empire. But everyone can take something from the Snoop philosophy. Move with purpose. Keep it real. Never rush your rhythm. Because cool isn't about money. It's about mastery of self. Luxury isn't about price tags. It's about peace of mind. And greatness? That's not given. That's maintained. So the next time you see Snoop's Diamond Bar estate, his Hollywood Hills hideout, or that Mountain View Palace in Chatsworth, remember, they're not trophies. They're testaments. Proof that when you know who you are, everything else falls into place. He built an empire not just to live in, but to live through. An empire of culture, comfort, and confidence that'll outlast generations. Because Snoop Dogg isn't just a legend, he's a lifestyle. And maybe that's the ultimate mansion, the one he built in the world's imagination, where he'll live forever. So if you vibed with this journey into the Dogfather's empire, hit that like button, drop a 100 in the comments for the legend himself, and tell me this. What's your version of a Snoop mansion? Maybe it's not a house. Maybe it's a dream, a business, a vision. Whatever it is, build it your way, live it your way, and make sure it's smooth while you do it. Because that's the gospel according to Snoop Dogg. Stay real. Stay rich in soul. And always keep it cool.